Hi, and welcome to Dramatic Knits. My name is Steve, also known as Dramatic Knits.
And I'm Callie, also known as Calisters.
And today is Sunday, November 27th, 2016. This is episode 270. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back one more week. And if you are new, hopefully you enjoyed today's show and you'll come back in the future. So, it's been 2 weeks. We've had Thanksgiving here in the United States. Hopefully, if you are in the U.S., you had a wonderful Thanksgiving or a low-stress Thanksgiving. We're now fully into the swing of the holiday season, so we've kind of got our house a little bit decked out. You can see a little bit of garland and decorations, but we don't do a whole lot in my house, but we've got 1.5 trees, I'd say, decorated. Let's get started. It feels weird doing this every 2 weeks. I get out of the rhythm, so it's kind of new every time. So let's go into a quick 2 weeks in review for ourselves. I had a full week of work, I believe, the week after we recorded last. And it was just getting to be time that everybody needed a break. Students need a break, teachers need a break, administration needs a break. So we had 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. We had to work last week, and I'm one of those horrible teachers who still teaches and expects kids to do work on those 2 days. I don't show movies, I don't do puzzle games and all that other stuff. In fact, with my honors kids, they had to start a big assignment that's a test grade for them. So I'm horrible, I know. I didn't make them work on it over break, but and then I had Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday off, and this weekend. And Thursday was Thanksgiving, like I said, and my mom and sister came over, and Andy cooked. I peeled potatoes. That was my contribution to the dinner, and it was a good time. My mom and sister wanted to go Black Friday shopping, and we were all full, so we didn't actually have dessert, even though I think there was enough dessert for all of us to have our own individual dessert. And so my mom and sister came over on Friday night, and we played some cards, some Skip-Bo, if you're a fan of Skip-Bo. Yeah. And then yesterday was a wonderful day. Kelly and my friend Amber, who is Yarn Hoarder. If you do not watch the Yarn Hoarder podcast, you are probably living under a rock, because I think everybody and their mom watches it. So it's an amazing podcast, and she has a lot to contribute to the knitting world.
Yes.
That's a fresh new take. But she is relatively local to us, or just over about 2 hours. So she came and visited, and was super exciting and kind of nerve-wracking. She'd never been to my house before, so she came over. We dyed some yarn, which you may see on her podcast in the future. And then we drove out to Bloomington, Illinois, and had lunch with Callie.
Yep.
And at our usual Buffalo Wild Wings. For nothing if not predictable.
But I did offer options.
You did. But then we ended up where we always end up. And then we went to our local yarn store, Les Moutons Rouge Knittery, who was doing a small business celebration. She had a hot chocolate bar, and
so good.
It was good. And spent some money that I did not need to spend, but I'll show you that later. And then Amber and I came back here, and we kind of wrapped things up, and she hit the road back home, and it was a good day. And we're trying to do that more often, because I think all three of us can attest that we don't get to have a whole lot of personal time with friends. Like, it's one thing to sit around your house by yourself, but to actually have friend time and to be social is definitely lacking in my life. So that's been my 2 weeks.
My 2 weeks have been pretty good. I was off of work 2 Fridays ago, and then I had vacation all last week, which was nice. And then I go back to work tomorrow, so really super excited about that. But I do agree. I think it was time for a vacation. I think it was time for a break. Unfortunately, some of my coworkers did not feel that way, and sent some emails to me with red flag on it. So it is what it is. And hopefully when I return to work tomorrow, I will still have a job and people will
They cannot expect you to read your
I know.
email on vacation, and they cannot do anything against you if you don't.
I know. It's just, it was very interesting to see this unfold to, like, basically a state and a half away. So, we'll see how things go. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll just have some choice words said to me for going on vacation, and that's okay, because I don't. Up until this vacation, I had 4.5 weeks banked, so I really don't feel guilty because that's my vacation, and if I don't take a rest, then I'm gonna not be a productive person.
Right.
So,
right.
But other than that, I didn't. Okay, so let's talk Black Friday a little bit. So I did not actually participate in Black Friday per se. Like, I was up at 4:30 anyways because I've been getting up at like super early times, but during vacation I'd get up at like 4:30, 5:30, and then I'd have a nap around noon. So like this kind of like brittle work schedule coming back is maybe not something I'm super looking forward to. But I was up on Black Friday and I was like, I need to get a lot of stuff done. And so I went into work to drop off my Christmas decorations, and so part of my office is already decorated, which I'm really excited about because I spend the most time there. But I went to, and I think on the last episode I had talked about joining the Health and Wellness Fitness Center that is in the town in which I work in, and I had said it was a little bit costly. The joys of checking your email while on vacation out in the middle of nowhere is that they sent on last Tuesday, an email saying that they were going to do a Black Friday sale. And I was like, yes. So I scrolled down, and you only have to pay an enrollment fee once. And it's a huge enrollment fee for one person. If you were doing it with family and like other people, that would be great because you can divide that sub cost a little bit more. But for an individual, it was very expensive. And I was like, I need to bank up some money before I do this. And so they had a 75% off sale. So which means that the enrollment fee was less than $75, which was really great because the enrollment fee for one individual, and I will say this just because if you're close to us and you're thinking about maybe joining or whatnot, it's not too hard to figure out where this place is. But it's $287, which is kind of a substantial amount, plus then going into your monthly payment. So I was like, $287 is a lot of yarn. It's a lot of things that you could purchase. It could be, paying off some more debt. And so when I saw that it was going to be less than $75 with tax, I was super pumped. So I went in and I jumped on that on Black Friday, and I'm really excited about it because with this health and wellness center is you can have you can do a personal trainer, but that you don't have to do that. They work with you every so many weeks or month or whatever your progress is to create a workout for you based on what you like to do. So if you don't like to run on the treadmill, not going to be in your plan. If you enjoy water aerobics, that's your jam. Then that's pretty much where they're going to head and focus on that. So it is very custom to you, and you don't have to pay that extra fee. So I'm really excited to see where this is going to go because I think it's connected to my hospital. It's connected to all my doctors. So I'm really excited to see their input on this because they can we can communicate with my doctors, and it's all basically just going to be developed for me. And I'm really excited about it. So I'm very excited about this venture. So
good.
Yeah. That was a long tangent, but it is very exciting for me at least.
Good. Well, knitting. What's taking a bow? Do you notice something behind us? Oh, it's not flowers. I actually have a good flower setup that I really wanted to set up because I bought some really nice flowers at Fresh Market last week for Thanksgiving, and then Andy bought some poinsettias on Black Friday. But this had to steal the show. So
I had to steal the show.
yeah, of course. But this mannequin is wearing my finished object, which is Tidal Shoals. It's designed by Michelle Steed, and I've had the pleasure of vending with Michelle. She is Michelle's Assortment, and she does beautiful shawl pins, stitch markers, as well as designs garments that will feature her shawl pins. So this is an open work vest with a hang front. So you could actually take this and, pin it over or whatnot. And this is the 2-color version. There's a 1 and 2 color version. Well, Andy's mom saw this at the Super Summer Knit Together in Nashville this summer. And when she went on vacation with us while we vended, and she really liked the pattern. And so we picked out, she wanted it done out of our yarn. So we picked out Sandcastle. This is Leading Men Fiber Arts Soliloquy and Sandcastle. And then the purple I picked out because Andy was avoiding making a decision. And this is Raspberry Parfait in our Showstopper Intermission. So it's a half skein of our Showstopper base. And I really didn't know how it was going to turn out. But once it's blocked and it drapes, and she suggests something with like a silk content or something like that. This is 100% superwash BFL, the body is. And it still has really nice drape. Mm-hmm. So... and I did not pin it out. I thought maybe I was going to have to use blocking wires to get a full, because it's pretty much knit as a rectangle with armholes in it. And I didn't because I'm lazy. So I just wet it and kind of, did the shakeout to have the weight of it, stretch it out. And then I put it on my blocking board and kind of zhuzhed it into it until it was an approximate rectangle. But the points at the front, at the bottom that drape down right here. Those kind of pointed out and whatnot, which is fine. It went with the shape of the piece. So I'm really excited. This is going to be one of my hand knit Christmas gifts to Andy's mom. I have a pair of socks that I've knit earlier in the year that will be going to her as well. So, and I used a size 9 US 5.5 millimeter on that. Very simple pattern, very easily done. If you want something that looks more impressive, and that's not a dig, but if you want something that's easy to knit, not a hard construction, even, Andy was worried that it was going to look like a 60s, 70s granny square crocheted vest. Even my mom said, oh, that's cute. She doesn't get into the hand, the knitted and crocheted stuff. She's liked a cardigan one of the first cardigans I ever made out of some, in my opinion, not great yarn. And she loved that. But, so my mom has a warped view of the handcrafted world, but she even liked it. So, but I don't know then what that means. That might mean something opposite. But
I will say, I knew that it was going to turn out well because Michelle had an example at SSK. I'm fairly certain it was behind one, just part of her display, correct?
I think so.
But when you were knitting it, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, this is kind of like a hot mess. Like, not to be rude, because you knew what the finished product was gonna be like, but it's hard to envision that when you're knitting it flat as much as you were. And I was like, I know it's gonna turn out great, so I'm gonna just hang in there. But I was not for sure. But this is beyond.
Well,
like,
and
it is beautiful.
And it's a very open work lace pattern, and so it looked wonky and kind of like cat barf, right? Like they say, but blocking does wonders.
Well, and Michelle's example in her booth, and correct me if I'm wrong, I felt like was knit maybe a size or 2 bigger. And
this is the small, but I think his mom tried it on at SSK, and she wanted it longer because it hits right at the hip. So I worked with Michelle, and it was very easy. I cast on the numbers, I believe, for the large, but you only do because it's knit from side to side, you only do the repeats for the small.
But this is
stunning. And it extended the length at the bottom, because where you do the armholes too. I mean, and I can help you if you need help with that, or definitely Michelle can. I would say if you decide to do this, just email Michelle. She's got great customer support.
And you should be on her newsletter because she sends coupons or new product information. So definitely that's a newsletter worth subscribing.
And she travels all over to vend, because I know we first met at SSK in Nashville, and then we were at Stitches Midwest together in Illinois, and then we just vended at
Michigan?
the Michigan Show Fall Fiber Expo. So she kind of travels all over in order to get her products into the hands of as many different people as she can. So
Cool.
that is what I have finished.
I don't have it with me, but I finished my Violet Waffles hat for our chemo hat knit along, and so that will be going in the mail tomorrow. I know that I'm late, but I also know that it'll get there before the December 5th handout, so I'm really excited about that. It was knit with Shalimar DK weight yarn in the colorway Sweet Judy, like Suite. I'm not for sure what that's in reference to, but it was a nice slidey blue, and I knit it on size 5 US. I think in retrospect, next time when it's coming time for the decreases, I might switch to a needle size smaller because I think I'm a little bit loose on my decreases. So it turned out fine, and I actually really like how the crown shapes up once you're done and everything. So I'm excited to put that in the mail, and that's one that is going to be added to the total.
I'm super excited to talk to you guys about our charity hat knit along that we wrapped up, but I'll keep that for a little later in the show. So, all right, so let's move into what's performing this week. What are we currently working on? I have 3 and then some. So the first thing is my Rogers-esque cardigan jacket by Mary Townsend, and I'm using Barocco Weekend DK in color number 2144, which is the squash colorway, and I'm using sizes 3 and 5 US, which is 3.25 and 3.75 millimeter needles. I am still working on the back, but as the pattern says, it is the largest piece. So I have already decreased for the underarms, and I'm about halfway up the armhole, and then I will decrease some more and bind off. So I've added the second ball in, and it just looks like a big swath of fabric, and it's rolling in because you're like, Steve, you're a big guy, that doesn't look like a big piece of fabric, but it is rolling in because it's stacking out. So as you can see here, I've decreased, and now I'm at about 4.5 inches. I think I measured last night when I worked on this, and I've got to go to about 9 before I decrease. So there is an error in the decreases, and I read somebody's notes. Basically, this pattern was taken from a vintage pattern, and she puts that in the pattern. Like, all I did was retype this out, and, blah, 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 and it's free. So, but if you look at the numbers, and it doesn't make sense the way it's written, you're like, if I follow that decrease, I'm only decreasing on one side, and I would need to decrease on both. So, and I think from what I've read, there's another issue with one of the fronts with that, but other than that, it seems like a pretty simple, straightforward pattern. There's no at the same times and all that stuff. So there's that. And this is living in my Fat Squirrel Fibers bag. This is her sweater size that I picked up at SSK, or that I should say Andy bought me at SSK. So I like me a Fat Squirrel Fiber bag as well as a Silver Shed USA bag. And I should show you, because I don't show my bags all the time. My sock bag is the this is the Silver Shed USA, and this is one of her medium project bags that I was gifted for my birthday, even though I was selling it in the shop. So I love that one, but I might have a new sock bag that I'm going to be using here in the future, but I'll show you that in Stash Enhancements. All right, the next thing I'm working on are Callie's Christmas present, one of them, which is the exclusive socks, and this is knit out of Opal Classics in number 9067, which is called Exclusive, and I'm on the second sock. So I think I had just cast on for the second sock maybe last time. I don't know. Anyway, I've got about 20 more rounds to go down the foot and then put in the toe, and then I have to do the afterthought heels, which you can't see. My stripe is a dark green, but and I'm hoping they will fit her. I meant to get her measurements, and I'm like, I can guesstimate the best. So and the alternating cuff, heel, and toe is Leading Men Fiber Arts Showstopper Intermission in the Rubber Ducky colorway. And I'm knitting
like them.
Good. I'm knitting these on a size 1 US 2.25 millimeters, so I'm happy that she likes them. So that is that. And then the last thing, I cast on something new since I finished this. I cast on something else that's, kind of poncho-esque with a little bit of lace. But I'm happy with it. It is the 14 Carat by Michelle Hunter. She is Knit Pearl Hunter on Ravelry and whatnot, so she does a blog that I think is fairly popular. And I believe this actually was a mystery knit along, but our local yarn store owner, Kelly, hosted a charity fashion show, and I talked about that a couple weeks ago, and it wasn't like a runway fashion show. It was like there were garments all over the store, and you can kind of peruse. Well, this pattern was the belle of the ball. Everybody was wanting to knit it, and so I decided to cast it on because we are having a poncho along. This is a poncho, and we're having a poncho along in the store, and that was a lot of because of me insisting that we do a poncho along, so I felt I needed to cast this on. But I am not using the recommended yarn because she had sold out of what I was interested in that yarn. So I'm using Madeline Tosh Sock in the Dust Weaver colorway, and it is the most beautiful neutral gray with this undertones of purple blush colors. And I've started and I've finished the diamond pattern repeat, and this is rolling, but I think it'll block out. I'm telling myself that it will. Down here, the seed stitch border, and then you do you continue the diamond pattern up the side, and you do some eyelets, and then eventually this will be a long rectangle, and it is folded and seamed so that you have a head hole, and then it drapes over one side. So I'm just loving the fabric this is creating. So, and sorry, our lighting's a little wonky. We had to use the overhead light because it is actually relatively foggy and dark out today. So, but it is what it is, and we work with it, right? So I'm enjoying this. Even though you've got to purl back all your rows, I'm just loving the fabric, and the pattern is interesting, but yet not one that boggles the mind. So, and this one's living in my Fat Squirrel Fibers large wedge, I think, and this was the Super Summer Knit Together specialty bag for this year, and we've shown these off. So that's that, and that may have to go in a bigger bag though. And last thing I want to show you, sorry, is I did do some work on my granny square blanket, so I thought I would show you really quickly. And I haven't mentioned this in a while, I don't think, but this is my my hug light that I got at Target on clearance. And I know if you watch Yarn Hoarder, she talked about on our most recent episode her lighting system that she uses. I use this in the car, and I also use it at night when we're watching TV. And it just goes around your neck, and it's got 3 different settings of LED whites, and then it's also got a red setting, which is great for night driving. And it's bendable, so you can position them down and up and whatnot. So I just wanted to mention that, but I keep that in my basket because I usually work on this when we are watching TV. So here is where we're at so far, and since we've last talked, I've added in the cream stripe, and then this is Dream in Color Jilly with cashmere in the Hello Dolly colorway. So there's that.
Very cool.
And then I just started, I think, adding in, another Crafty Girl in the Rock Eater colorway in her Ooh Shiny sock. So
cool.
Just wanted to quickly show you that I am making progress. I haven't forgotten about it. So that is all that I am working on now.
Very cool. I am working on a couple of things. I'm working on my Hermione's Everyday Socks, and the heel, cuff, and toes are done in Malabrigo sock in the chocolate colorway, and then the foot and the leg are done in Madeline Tosh sock in the Earl Grey colorway. I'm knitting these on size 0 US, which is super small millimeter. And I've made quite a bit of progress since the last time I've shown this. And I do like this. However, once this pair is done, I cannot say that I will be doing this pattern again. There's nothing wrong with the pattern, but it is not something that I would just rather knit plain stock knit at this point. So it is what it is, but I do like this quite a bit. And that's residing in my bag that I got down at House of Yarn in Nashville, and this is by Danica Studio. So I do enjoy this. The Pom Pom sells it, so I do enjoy that. I made quite a bit of progress on Steve's socks for Christmas, so this is also done in Opal Classics in the I'm not going to try to pronounce it, let's be real honest. But I have everything done minus the heels, and so I'm kind of a little bit of a dodo bird on this because I did not put in a strong enough contrasting color for the heel, and so it has been super dark every time that I have tried to pick these up. Like this morning I was going to cast them on and be like all impressed and be like, I got a pair of socks done. But truthfully, it is so dark and foggy out that I was like, not today, not today. So I have, they are done, minus the heel. And with this one, I used leftover Mint Rain yarns in the Aqua Perfect colorway, I believe that was called. And then on here, this is really the, like, it shows up on camera, but it is Earl's Grey, the Earl Grey that I'm using in my other socks. Not so much. Not so much. So those are almost done, and if it is bright and sunny out, I should have done these yesterday, if I'm being completely honest with myself, because they were almost done, and we had a bright sunny day yesterday, and I don't need judgment.
I'm not judging because I'm super excited to get those, because I took a picture for Callie. I wore her birthday socks that she made for me like 3 days in a row. I was like, I'm breaking out the hand knit socks. And then I wore my mine that I finished recently yesterday, and I'm wearing the ones that Sheila from Knit One Heart 2 made me. I'm wearing those today, so I'm feeling the hand knit sock love lately.
I gotta say, I think I know I had at least texted you, but I did not realize, because I have a pair of Mary Janes, how comfortable those are in my Mary Janes. Like in other shoes, not so much. But these Mary Janes are like super spacious, toe box room and everything. And I was like, you know, usually I have really like hot feet, so it was nice because the wool obviously kind of regulates with your temperature. So if you're hot, it'll be, you know what I'm saying here. Anyways, this project bag is by, I can never pronounce this.
Halcyon
Yarn, thank you. And this is in the Bucket List fabric. It is fairly widely available. It's been a few years since this fabric has been out, but I enjoy this. It's a drawstring. And then I also started a new baby blanket for my best friend Sarah. She is pregnant, and she told me the gender already, and not that any of her family is watching, I'm presuming, but I will still keep that a secret. But I picked this up before I went on vacation, and it's Jojo Land Tonic, and it's 85% acrylic and 15% wool. Sarah's baby will be due in April, so it'll still be slightly chilly, but not super cold, hopefully. If not, this is definitely what I was going for, is machine wash and dry, because I do all my baby blankets with that, because kids are going to puke and, you know, make a mess on this. So, but this colorway is in the color 272, and that's Ming. I'm guessing it's in relation to like the Ming Dynasty, because it's Ming Jade on Ravelry. So that was my thought behind that. I'm doing the Daisy, or the Gracie blanket pattern. It uses a daisy stitch, and I've got to be real honest, I don't know if I will continue this pattern. It's not anything against the design. I just I have a little bit of issue. So I've done one full repeat and part of another one, and so you do you do seed stitch for the border, and then you do the daisy pattern. Now, the daisy pattern I've never done before. It is not, or the daisy stitch, it's not super complicated. It's a purl 3 together, leave the stitch on your needle, pull it out, wrap a stitch, and then purl the 3 together. So you're decreasing 3, but you're also increasing 3. There's plenty of YouTube videos out for it. So the part of the reason why I'm kind of like not for sure if I want to continue on this pattern is, one is you're supposed to go up a size for needles for the daisy stitch part. You're supposed to do the seed stitch on a smaller needle and do a larger one for the daisy stitch. And I'm not super loving this, and to be quite honest, it looks like a hot mess. And I've seen people that have gone up 2 sizes, and just to put it out there, I really don't know for sure, because this is in green, because the daisy stitch, in my opinion, unless you're doing 2 colors to really kind of offset it, it kind of looks like weed, to be very honest. And so I don't know if this is necessarily the connotation in which I want to present this baby blanket. If that's your thing, then that's your thing. I pass no judgment, but I don't necessarily think it's super acceptable for a baby blanket. And so I will probably be ripping it out, and I haven't decided what pattern, but I will probably go up 2 stitches or 2 needle sizes just for at least a couple more rows, just to see if maybe that's better. But I quite frankly am not going to do a 2-color baby blanket just to get what I would like to say the more desirable effect of the daisy stitch.
So should we put a call out to our viewers and say if you have a favorite baby blanket pattern? Yes. And what weight yarn is this? Not that it really matters, but
I believe it is I think it's worsted or a...
What's the yardage on the...
220.
Yeah, it's worsted.
So that's really... I've got 6 skeins at 220 yards, so if you can keep that in mind, that'd be great. But, yeah. I'm just not really super loving this, and I actually queued this pattern for Sarah specifically before she announced that she was pregnant, before her and her husband decided to start trying for kids. I really liked this. I saw it on someone else's Instagram, and I was like, oh, I gotta make that. That would be great for, a baby, but it's not, I'm not loving it. So if you could recommend any pattern, that'd be great. Worsted weight, I have 6 skeins at 220 yards per skein. Worsted weight, I think I just said. You'll get the gist there. So send it or put it in the forum thread.
So maybe a new baby blanket will be in rehearsal for Callie. Yes. And also for me, I am probably going to cast on a boomerang. It's been a while since I've had a garter stitch boomerang on the needles. And so I have some new yarn that are new colorway of the month for December that I'm going to show later in the show, as well as some new needles that I'm going to show later in the show. And I have an event this weekend that I'm going to talk about later in the show. So I'm going to need to be knitting on my yarn while there, so I'm probably going to cast on a boomerang so that I can talk to people. So that's what's in rehearsal for me. Do you have anything else that you're thinking about casting on?
I do have a pair of socks planned for another member of this household, so for Christmas.
All right, let's move into behind the scenes, my spinning. I did finish some spinning. I finished my Yarn Geek Fibers BFL in the Sugar Maple colorway, and I got 304 yards of a 2-ply sport weight, and it looks like this. And so this has been washed and ready. I need to tag it, and I'm actually going to update it tonight in the shop, I believe. So this will be up for grabs at leadingmenfiberarts.bigcartel.com. So, like that. And then I started spinning. I forgot to bring the bobbin, but I have one bobbin done. I'm working on the second 2 ounces of some Gales Art swirled blue-faced wool, and I had no colorway. I'm calling it Desert Rose. And this is some commission spinning that I'm doing, and Looks like that. And I have 2 braids of this, but I'm actually going to spin 1 braid, and then I'm going to spin Callie's braid that she picked up at SSK this summer.
Yes.
As part of her Christmas gift.
Yes.
And then I will spin the other braid of this. So, and I'll talk more about spinning here in just a little bit. If you follow me on Instagram, you might already know. Anyway, so that's how my spinning is going, and I'm doing that as a 2-ply. I'm not saying fractal because I got distracted last night, and you'll see why. And I forgot to split the second 2 ounces in thirds, so I just split the braid in half, like not down the middle, but actually in half, and I'm just spinning those. The colors are so in the same color family that I don't think it's going to need to be as broken up, so I'm okay with that. All right, let's move into the spotlight. What are we watching and reading? Let me quickly go through what I'm watching, and I have not finished, any books, so I don't think so anyway. Finished American Horror Story Season 6. There was only 10 episodes, and I guess they are going to release another season this year. That's why it's a shorter season. It's what I read online. I don't know. I thought it was an interesting take. Did it leave me completely fulfilled? I don't know. But I enjoyed the ride. Andy and I are still watching Westworld, which, thanks to a viewer who commented on our threads, that is actually, it's a remake, this TV show, off of a 1970s film that I was unaware of. But I'm enjoying it, and it's getting real deep, real thinking about thinking and questioning what you think you know in this world and things like that. So, and I am behind on The Walking Dead. I think I have 1, if not 2 episodes still to watch. So that is the TV that I'm watching. I did watch 2 movies. One I thought was pretty good. One I did not care for. The one I thought was pretty good, Andy and I watched Sausage Party, and if you have kids, do not watch it in front of them. It is very much adult humor. It is a cartoon that you think is just the cutest thing ever, where food wants to be taken home, and then about the harsh realities that when they realize what actually happens to them after they have been selected. So it's got a lot of adult humor, but it would be a good date night movie for the adults. The next one I watched, I did not care for. In fact, I think I rated 2 stars on Netflix. Netflix suggested it to me, I think, and I put it in my queue. It is a Netflix original movie, not series, and it's called I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House. It's a ghost story within a ghost story, as they put it. I thought it was an hour and 20 minutes to lead up to a moment that you saw coming from a mile away. I do not recommend it, so do not waste your time on that. I just had it in the background while I was knitting one night, and I feel like it was based off of an old book that just felt like that old writing, you know. So I don't know. So I don't recommend that. But that's it for me.
I have not been reading. I've come to terms that I am not going to meet my Goodreads challenge. I'm okay with that.
Why stress yourself out, right?
Yeah, this year just was not the year. But if magazines counted, I'd be rolling in the deep with this challenge. But that is that. As far as things that I'm watching, we pretty much get 3 channels at the cabin at the lake. We don't pay for cable. We don't pay for satellite down there. The intention is that you're pretty much disconnected from everybody. We used to have a landline phone in there. We took it out. So if you don't have a cell phone and you get hurt, you're screwed. Just go ahead and make peace with it that you're gonna die. So that's kind of how we...
I think plenty of people lived before there were even phones.
No, well, we're kind of in a part where that there's been kind of some shifting in rocks, so it's been interesting. But anyhow, I digress. So we get 3 channels of PBS and China World News. So that's,
Interesting.
yeah. So we watched a lot of Create TV, which we don't actually get on our satellite package. So that was really nice to basically just watch all kinds of different, cooking shows. A lot of This Old House, a lot of Ask This Old House. And really, I was pretty jazzed about it all weekend. So, I mean, how can you not enjoy, basically crafting and cooking 24/7. So, but we did go actually see their high school down at the lake. We live near Camdenton, but our actual physical address is on Sunrise Beach. But Camdenton is the nearest town to us, and so their high school has it's a separate group from their high school theater program. So they have the public school theater program, and then they've kind of got this little niche theater program for kids that are super involved in theater, not just we're just gonna try this out kind of thing. And they did a production of Clue, and I had never seen I've seen the movie Clue. I enjoyed the board game Clue, but this was really neat because I did not realize what we were kind of getting ourselves into. This is very much participant based. So there's something I think the individual that heads up this group, the adult, she said there's 2 million different ways to have this production go, because if you think about factorials on when you're talking about probability and that kind of thing, there's so many players, there's so many rooms, there's so many weapons, and it makes sense. And so they have to memorize all these little scenarios and type things, but they draw the cards from the board game every production. And so Friday night's performance was different from Saturday night's performance, and it was really, really well done. And you got to guess along, and you had your little card that you would get in the board game. It was just very cool. It was very neat, and they were very, very good. My mom and I both commented, when you go to the high school production, you don't exactly know what you're getting yourself into, and especially from an area of where you're not super familiar with. The towns that are around Steve and I, you can pretty much tell which high school has the bigger money for the bigger budget, and they have kids that have talent and things like that, because usually those kids are in speech and drama and other things. But this is really well done, and in February, if you're in the area in Camdenton, Missouri, they are doing Mary Poppins, and they are going to fly. So they have quite the stage to do that, and rigging possibility for that as well. But it was really, really good. But other than that, and just catching up on stuff on the DVR, mostly clips from the Jimmy Fallon show. So not too deep.
Well, let's get into stash enhancement, because neither one of us have been that good. Some worse than others. Anyway, so...
Where are you gonna start?
I don't know. So, as we said, our friend Amber came and visited us yesterday, and she brought me 2 gifts, which was not needed by any means, but it's very much appreciated. So, the first thing she gifted to me was a set of Desert Vista Dye Works yarn. This is in her Viso base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 462 yards. This comes with the self-striping color accents green, as well as, well, it doesn't say how much black is on there. I'm guessing 20 grams, which is enough for cuffs, heels, and toes. So Amber knows I love green, and I'm all about the blacks and grays and just the pops of green, so I'll be excited to get to these eventually. And then she also brought me a project bag, and I just texted her. This is from Callie from Willoughby Way, who is Throw Styler on Instagram. And this is a project bag that kind of has a double entendre to it. So this is what she affectionately called my meat sack. So it is a project bag with a whole bunch of sausages on it. Hopefully you weren't drinking when I just revealed this present. So anything from a Frankenfurter to chorizo to pepperoni and bratwurst and salami. Cumberland, which I don't even know what that is. So, and then this is the interior fabric here that's on the handle. So this is going to become my my new sock bag here the next time I cast on a new pair of socks. So,
Amber also brought me a gift, which I was super excited about, and again, so not necessary. She picked up a Mrs. Brown's Bags notebook for me, and I'm really excited about this because I always carry paper with me, so this will be good for my purse or good in my work bag because I was needing a new one.
Yeah. See, what I think would be really nice is if Jody, because this is fabric that Jody has photographed and taken a picture of and then made, the prints of. What would be really cool is if Jody wrote in here, like, what was the dyer and colorway. Because she talks about it a lot, and she has so many different swatches now. It'd be nice to know what your picture was of.
Yeah.
So, and it would be a nice little hand-done note, with Jody stuff. But I get that it gets to be a lot, but
I'm so excited. So thank you, Amber.
You can always make a good use of a good notebook.
Yes, because I am forgetful, like real bad.
So, as we said as well, yesterday we went to our local yarn store, and I picked up two things. First up, I picked up a fourth skein. Well, I picked up another skein. This will be skein number 4 of the Madeline Tosh sock in Dust Weaver. I was short yardage for the 14 karat that I'm knitting for Andy's mom, and I thought I'd just make it smaller. She is a smaller woman, but then I was like, it'd be nice to just be able to follow the pattern and not have to worry about it. So, and I figure if I have enough extras, I could do a hat or mitts or something, or, I'll put it in my granny scribbling kit. So that was the first thing. And then Kelly got these in maybe a week or two ago, and I went to knitting last week and I said, oh, can I take a look at them? She goes, I sold out on the first day. But then I came back this week and she had like 10 more sets, because if you are in Central Illinois, you need to check out Lema Rouge Knittery. She brings in new stuff every week. That's why I cannot walk away every week without something new. She's a master enabler. So, and these were really good value for what they are. So, what I picked up was a new set of interchangeable needles, and this is Knitter's Pride Melodies of Life. And they're called Knitter's Pride, but these are actually the Knit Pro Zings, which are only available in the UK. And these are the only way that you can actually retail the Knit Pro Zings in the United States, is in the sets. You cannot buy them individually. I do know that some Etsy sellers are now importing them and then trying to resell them, but they are not actual Knitter's Pride or Knit Pro retailers. And so this is a very lovely gift set as well. It was wrapped, it had a nice sleeve over it, and the Melodies of Life. So you're going to see it has kind of a musical theme to it, as well as an interesting gift that I may give to my sister, because it's very gender biased, which is my only issue. So when you open it up, it is a magnetized box, and when you open it up, you have here needles from size 4 to 11, including the 10.5 US, okay? And they are color-coded. They kind of have the signature feel to them, so all the sizes are color-coded. My only issue that I have is if you take these needles out, because I actually opened my case and some of the needles were not all firmly set in place. The rubber band things here that hold the needles are actually sewn into this cardboard here, and so you have to have pretty decent nails to pick up the rubber band and put them in. So I may need to buy an actual interchangeable case to put these in, but Anne of the Silverside USA just released a new design for an interchangeable set that is amazing. So I may need to invest in that sometime in the future, but I've been spending a lot of money. And Andy's down here now, probably reading, and so he's shaking his head going, yes, you have. So as you can see here, here's the board. It's got a nice little tab sewn in so that you could get to the stuff underneath. Again, all those bands are sewn in. Very nicely done. And then you get a free gift with your needles, which are from Tikri, which epitomizes magnificence, elegance, and artistry of Knitter's Pride colored wood that now finds a new voice in the shape of fashion jewelry. And so you get another really nice box. It is nice, of 2 sets of earrings, because you know I'm all about that. We're not being gender biased at all with these knitting needles, but that's okay. It's free, right? But these are some earrings made out of colored wood. And again, you have the magnetic box, and they open up. So my sister wears earrings. I don't know. Let her and my mom fight over them. Because I don't think Callie would wear these. I don't see Callie wearing the long dangly earrings. So, and then there is a nice notions pouch, and this includes color-coded cables. So you get one 16-inch, 124, and 232s, I believe, as well as some extenders. I think these are cable extenders, so you can add 2 of them together. You get 3 sizes of stitch holders. You get a whole bunch of needle stoppers and keys for, tightening those. And then you get these interesting darning needles that have like the fishing line hoop at the end rather than an eye line or an eye hole in the needle. I will say that I don't think that these needles are going to be anywhere near the signature pointedness, but they are the same company as like Knitter's Pride carbons. I have an interchangeable set of those that I won at ZK. They are nice. I work with them. I knit with them. But the join between the metal tip and the carbon can kind of, it's not as smooth as I would prefer. These are definitely, there's a smooth join to them. I haven't knit with them yet, but I'm going to cast something on new for this weekend while I'm at an event. And so that's what I'm gonna use these to cast on the boomerang that I want to knit. And these all come in this notions pouch. So this retails for about $85, which is not bad at all. Those are about normal for a lot of interchangeable needle sets, and when you consider the possibilities of 3 different size cables at 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, so 9 times 3, you've got essentially 27 individual needles that you would have had to buy to cover all these. Not bad at all. So that comes to what, like $3 a needle. So sorry about the ding. I think that's Andy's phone or my iPad or something. Anyway, so again, very nicely packaged. I put it back. Actually, I tried to put it back. Callie put it in front of me, and I said, Callie, put it back. I can't spend the money. And she proceeded to ignore me because she likes to enable as well. So I can enable her a lot. She doesn't usually get me that much. So, and then I walked out with a set. So
I was channeling my inner Amber.
Was there anything else you need to add before I go with my last thing?
Yes, I will. Oops, sorry. Trying not to knock everything over. I also did a wee bit of damage. I had mentioned that I had purchased 2 project bags last episode, and I got both of them. One is containing secret knitting, so I will not be showing that because I, quite frankly, was too lazy to switch knitting to a different project bag, even though I've got like 20-ish plus. I just was not feeling it this morning. But the one that I did get and that I did bring is because the packaging was pretty fantastic. This is from I kept it in the bag because I was like, I know I'm going to do something ridiculous and mess this up. This is from Marie Celeste Stitches on Etsy. And if you watch the Grocery Girls, maybe an episode or two ago, they showed one of her bags on the show, and she also generously offered a coupon code. So I snatched this bad boy up. It is what I would say is probably about a medium project size bag. It is all appliqued on, and it's got the kite, and you can't see it right here, but there's a little seed stitch right here. That's the doorknob on the house. And this is something that I am not good at, but I love immensely. This is a lot of time, and it's a lot of perfect seams. I'm going to scooch on up closer. You can see how perfect her corners are. That is awesome. I should say some of this is applique, I believe, and some of it is just great stitching. But look at the kite up there. You can see the kite tail. I mean, honestly, the amount of detail on this bag is worth every penny of what I paid. And because she's based in the Netherlands, for the time that it was gonna come in, worth every penny of it. And inside is red polka dots, and it matches the kite, and there's a little owl zipper pull on it as well. So this was super awesome.
We have a studio audience.
It's okay. But I really appreciate the detail of this.
That is beautiful. It's very, very cute.
And again, it's Marie Celeste Stitches on Etsy, and she's super easy to work with as well. Because I noticed one of the things that I paid with this with my PayPal account, and I used one of the credit cards that I have on the account, and I didn't realize it was one that my credit card company had switched, had given me a chip, so the number had changed, but it went through. So she was really easy to work with that, because I told her, I was like, I still want the bag, please keep the bag, like let me check with my card company. So that was one thing I got in the mail. Yesterday I did some damage at the store at Les Maisons Rouge Knittery, and I'm going to talk about that last because that was kind of a little bit of an impulse purchase. But I did get 2 skeins of sock yarn. I got Happy Feet 100. It's by Plymouth Yarn Company. It's 90% superwash merino and 10% nylon. This colorway is Tuscan Spice.
Love this one. I almost picked up a couple skeins of that for something.
And this is made in Peru. It's 384 yards, but it's still 100 grams. So I'm very excited to try this out, and I've heard good things about it. So I'm excited about that. That was skein number 1. And then skein number 2, same, is in color 4. So a little less exciting color name, but it's not really visible. Well, it's very like tonal. Would you say that? Mm-hmm. Very tonal, and I really love this red colorway, and I think I will be making, well, I'll be making socks out of it, but I don't know who they will go for. So I'm excited about that. And the last thing that I got was slightly on impulse. I love elephants. I collect elephant things. And this was a felt notions bag, and I'm going to open it up. Sorry for the crinkle. But, so, besides loving elephants, I was like, where's the zipper part? Because I would think that it would be up here. Am I right? Like, that makes sense, right?
Sure, yeah. Okay.
Okay, it is not. The zipper is on the underside, but you start at the tuchus of this elephant to get into the pouch.
So basically, it's like you're disemboweling him every time you go in to get your notions.
And even, I mean, it's... I had to laugh and I had to purchase it. And Amber was standing right next to me and she was like, "You're going to purchase that, aren't you?" And I said, "Yep." So, really, I'm blaming this on nobody because it is super cute, anyways. So, I have a couple of other other felt zipper products like this. It's made by Frabjous Fibers. So. And I'm sure that somehow became a show title.
How do you spell Tookus?
Tookus.
I'm going to say Tookus. We'll look it up later. I'm not going to go with disembowel an elephant. That might be a little off-putting as a show title. Let's start off at the Tookus.
But that is all that I have purchased in the last couple of weeks.
My last stash enhancement is quite a doozy. It is an investment. It is something that I have wanted now for several years, and I could never justify it. I've had permission for about the last year to get one, and I could never pull the trigger. But due to some changes in laws with teacher retirement and a refund that I got and money I didn't know that I had, I said, well, I'm going to walk away with that and I'm going to purchase this. And so I am now the owner of, I posted on Instagram yesterday, it came in the mail. It was super quick because I ordered it this week. I ordered a Hansen mini spinner. So if you are not a spinner, you might not know what this is, but this is an electric spinning, an e-spinner. Okay, it's an electric spinning wheel. And these are quite an investment. This is, from what I've heard, pretty much the top of the line in e-spinners. I've tried out several different ones. I've tried out the less expensive ones. They are louder. They are not as fine-tuned. I was looking at they have several different wood lines. This is the base, the cheaper ones. This is cherry. Maple and cherry are pretty much the base woods. But they have some very exotic woods. I was looking at tiger wood. They have, purple heart, a lot of other things. That increases the price quite a bit to get those more expensive woods. So decided not to go with that because this was still more than what I was getting, the money that I didn't know I was getting. So, but I also upgraded to a woolly winder. So you can see there it says woolly winder. This is the woolly winder flyer with bobbin that comes. The nice thing is this bobbin will fit 8 ounces of fiber, whereas my Ashford Kiwi bobbins only fit 4. I can now partake in larger quantities of fiber, as well as maybe doing a loop bump, which I've never purchased because they are usually over 4 ounces, and I did not want to have to split them up, especially when you usually spin the loop bumps and Navajo ply them to keep the color gradients. So I started spinning on this last night. I put it together, I tested it, it came with some, they had pre-tested this to make sure it worked because there was fiber on the bobbins, even on the woolly winder one. They sent a little sample of fiber for you to play around with. There's exceptional instructions with a lot of YouTube links that you can go to. They give you an extra drive band and an extra tensioner. I also bought a maintenance kit for it. It comes with a bag to carry it, just like a burlap bag that's very nice. But what goes in the front, you can see here, I can adjust the speed. It's also got an LED on and off that I can work with, but this is a jack that goes, a foot pedal attaches, so I can stop and start it with my foot, and then the power goes in over here, and this is the tensioner over here. So it is very lightweight for what it is. I am super happy with it. This is something I've wanted for a long time, and because I do sell my hand spun and try to, use top of the line products so that what I put out there in the world is of the highest quality that I can make them, in my opinion. But I'm just super happy with it. So super excited, and their customer service was really spectacular. Like I said, I think I ordered that like Monday or Tuesday on a holiday weekend, and I think by that night I had tracking, and I was like, no, that's not because they shipped it. I assumed they had to like make it, and I was like, maybe they just printed off a label and had it ready to go, and I had it by Saturday. So Utterly amazing. I did order 3 Acreworks bobbins, which are a little bit of an investment as well. But I ordered 3 of those in 3 different styles and colors, and they have really good customer service. They emailed me to tell me, when they expect it according to their production timeline, when they will ship and things like that. So I'll be excited to get those, because you do only get 1 bobbin with the purchase of the e-spinner. So you need more than that to spin, but you do get a regular jumbo flyer, as well as if you upgrade to the woolly winder, that's an additional. So so I'm really happy with that purchase, and I'm excited to see the yarns that come out. So I'm spinning the second half of that Gail's Art, the Hansen. So
that's exciting. I'm very excited for you.
I am excited. I just never could pull the trigger. It's an investment, like I said. It's easier to drop a little bit of money here and there or something at the local yarn store every week than it is to, drop a good penny on some good quality tools. But any crafter will tell you, if you purchase quality tools, they will last you for a long time, if not the rest of your life. So, yep. All right, we are over an hour already. Let's keep going. Let's move into a round of applause, shall we?
Yes.
It's Fall, Y'all, Cal is coming to a close here soon.
Yep. And so if you are new to us, It's Fall, Y'all, Cal is anything that you craft starting September 1 to November 30th. But really, it can be anything you started before. It can be any size weight of yarn. It can be any size of project. So if you do a little mochi and sell it to us saying, this colorway inspires me to think of fall, or whatever.
If you can sell it, we'll accept it.
Yep. We're not, super hard on this one. So yeah, if there's any questions, just shoot me a PM or email. If you use any base of Leading Man Fiber Arts, you can enter your finished object in the finished object thread twice. And if you really want to, you could also enter it into the race to the finished object. Mm-hmm, so you could really have 4 possible chances to win.
And that ends on Wednesday. Wednesday's the last month of November. So Callie will be closing that on Thursday morning.
Yep.
Okay. And we'll draw for winners for that on next time we record. And as we always do with knit-alongs, unless specified otherwise, we always start off with 1 prize, and then every 50 entries we get past that, we'll add another prize. So we'll see how many we get in and how many prizes we draw for next time.
Yes.
Speaking of prizes, we wrapped up our charity hat drive that we were doing for Operation Chemo Comfort. And wow, guys, you guys blew us out of the water. We ended up with Callie's hat and my 3 hats, approximately 153 hats, if not more, that people did not post in the finished object thread. So over 150 hats that we were able to contribute. I know their original goal was to get 400. And one of our lovely viewers, Kim, actually posted a link to a local to the Hat Drives news story that was done in an interview done with the ladies who head up Operation Chemo Comfort. And I know that they had raised their expectations, I think, to almost 1,000 hats. So to the fact that we were even able to help with 15%, as our little community, which is so amazing, to be able to give 15% of their amazing goal is a lot. So and we set a goal of every 25 hats that were donated, we would add another prize. So we have a total of 7 prizes to give out today. So we're super excited. If you win a prize, I'm going to go quickly through this. Please contact me, Dramatic Knits, on Ravelry. Give me your first and last name and your mailing address, and I'll get it out to you as soon as possible. Okay? All right, so first up, we have a set of 3 Irish Girls yarn, and all this yarn, by the way, was donated by generous viewers like you. It's not like PBS, don't I? That have donated to the podcast, and I tried to pick some really awesome prizes because this is such an awesome knit-along that is giving back to the community. So I tried to pick some, higher end yarns that were donated, a lot of hand-dyed, things like that. So this is a set of 3 Irish Girls Springvale sock. It's 100% superwash merino wool. You get 370 yards. This is in You and Me Forever is the main skein, and then you get a quarter skein of True Love. spelled TREWE for cuffs, heels, and toes. And the winner of that was number 6 in the Charity Hat FO thread, and that is Ange in the East. So congratulations, Angela. If you will please get in contact with me. Again, shoot me your shipping address, even though I'm pretty sure you've won before, but I don't hold on to that information. So shoot me that information and I'll get it out to you. So congratulations. Second up, we have a skein of Happy Hands hand-dyed yarns in the Toe Jams sock yarn, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 450 yards in the All That Jazz colorway. And this is bright, guys. This goes to number 68, who is Mystic Stormy. And guys, she put in 45 hats. So, Mystic Stormy, thank you so very much. I can't wait to see what you guys do next year. I'm sure she is a hardcore charity hat knitter, and I can't wait to see what she brings to the table next year. So, congratulations, Mystic Stormy. Get in contact with me. Next up is another skein of 3 Irish girls. This is in their Finley fingering, which is 100% merino wool, 380 yards in the Sweet Tarts colorway. And this goes to number 104, who is Knit Kitty Knit. So very beautiful, subtle, but yet beautiful colors. The next up is a skein of Socks That Rock in the lightweight in the Lodestone colorway, which is 360 yards of 100% superwash merino wool. And the winner of this is number 34, who is our friend Kim. And she is one of my sample knitters as well. And she is Koviljka. I had to spell it. Sorry, Kim. I don't know how to pronounce it. So it's that wonderful light greenish yellow. Next up is some Mean Girls Yarn Club, which I heard is really hard to get a hold of. So this is 100% merino wool, superwash sock, 560 yards and 4 ounces. So then this is in the color wino. Anyway, and this goes to number 101, who is CM Jans, CMJANZ. So congratulations. Next up is a skein of Araucania Renko Multi, which is 75% wool, 25% polyamide, 376 yards in color 319. And this goes to number 19, who is Elaine B. So congratulations. I'm assuming you're Elaine. Get in contact with me and I'll get that out to you. And last but not least, we have a skein of Cullinet Jitterbug in the colorway Zebra. And this was born in 2013, and it's made in Wales. So it's a cool tag. 400 yards. And this goes to number 117, who is KM Davy1, KMDAVI1. So congratulations to all the winners, and thank you everybody who knit a hat and donated. We cannot thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And we look forward to hosting it again next year. Yes. All right, we have a Knitters Pay It Forward this episode.
We do.
And Callie's bringing that to the table today.
I am. This is actually something that I finished in 2011. I've never worn it. I've stashed it back because I thought I would give it as a gift at some point. And so, yep, doing that now. Sorry, I just wanted to finish this one needle. All right. So I knit this in 2011, and it's out of Wet Gems in the Sport Weight yarn, and it's in teal. It's a pattern by Mr. Stephen West, and it is one of his earlier ones. So it is a one color, not super neon fanciness. Fancy. But it is something that I was really proud of. And actually, when I pulled it out this morning and I texted Steve that I had something to give, I pulled it out and I was like, oh, I wish I would have thought about doing this a little bit earlier because I would have re-washed and blocked it, which I will for whoever wins this, but I did not do that today. So it is the Boneyard shawl, and The point is not centered. I know, that's why I was like, oh, sad face. But it is a fairly generous size. If you could grab that. And I think it will continue to expand once I reblock it. So very simple pattern. I hope that it goes with whoever wins this. I hope it goes with their wardrobe. I think this teal is kind of a neutral teal. It's not like super in your face teal. Kind of a nice denim-y color teal-ish. So anyways, just...
Callie will set up the
yes.
thread, and she'll have the prompt in there. If she wants to tweak it from what we've done before or keep it the same, will be up to her since this is hers. So check the thread. That'll be open for 2 weeks, and we will pull for that before we record in 2 weeks for our next episode.
Yes, and like I said, I will rewash it and block it as well.
Awesome. I do want to remind a previous winner. We had redrawn for the book prize from the September Race to the Finished Object contest, and the new winner was number 136, who is Mercantile 519, and that's Nicole from Michigan. So Nicole, if you could please get in contact with me. You have the next 2 weeks to shoot me an email at that prize. At that point, I will again redraw because we only do the month long for people to claim prizes, and we do ask that people watch the show. I understand people get behind. Lord knows I do, and I don't catch every episode, so I know it's crazy. But so Nicole, please get in contact with us. Shoot us an email. All right. We do have our November Race to the Finished Object contest currently open. That ends on Wednesday. Thursday, I will open the December Race to the Finished Object contest thread. Anything you finish in November or December, the respective month, we do this every month, enters you into getting a prize. It doesn't matter when you start it doesn't matter what type of project. You only get to post once per finished object, but each finished object for that month gets you an entry into the drawing. For November, we have 2 prizes. We have a Yarny prize, a skein of sock yarn that I showed prior, and a pattern from our featured designer, who is Laura Linneman, of Knit Girls fame and of Lala Designs on Ravelry. So December, next time I will show what our prize will be for December, as well as announcing the November winners. All right, very quickly, I'm going to move into center stage, which is all things Leading Men Fiber Arts. I just have one thing to show and one thing to mention, so I'm going to just keep on rolling forward. I do want to show you our December colorway of the month, which is going to premiere on Thursday, probably in the evening. When I get home from work, I'll be able to take pictures and post those. These pre-orders, as all of our colorways of the month, will be open through December 8th, and on the 9th we'll close pre-orders, okay? These will be available on all of our base yarns except for Showstopper Intermission, which we keep for mostly semi-solids. So this month's colorway, December 2016's colorway of the month, is called Acid Trip, and it looks like this. So it is another speckle-tastic goodness. It's got some fierce purple speckles, as well as green, a little bit of brown, and some hints of gold occasionally, and then it's got this kind of very light pink base to it. So that is Acid Trip. So this concludes the 2016 lineup of our colorways of the month. We had 10 new colorways in 2016, and then for the entire month of January we will do pre-orders for our year in review sets, and I will talk more about that probably on our next episode, but just know that the year in review sets are coming. There are some slight changes from last year's year in review, but you will be able to claim all the colorways from 2016 in one fell swoop if you are so inclined. So and this one, by the way, is on Showstopper. I'm working on dyeing all these up on all the different bases today, so I have some on the stove waiting to be rinsed after we're done recording. All right, the last thing I want to talk about is the best day of the year, and that is the Hand-Dyed Holiday, which is hosted by our local yarn store, who is, again, Les Moutons Rouge Knittery. And Hand-Dyed Holiday is going to be this Saturday, December 3rd, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And our local yarn store, Kelly, is a bit crazy. She'll fully admit that. She is bringing over 2,500 skeins of hand-dyed yarn just for this event. She has every single colorway that Hedgehog Fibers does all 91 colors on Hedgehog sock, as well as over 1,000 skeins of Madelinetosh, as well as Leading Men Fiber Arts, Manos del Uruguay, who's the other one that she stocks? Zen Yarn Garden.
Yes.
Sweet Georgia Yarns.
Yes. Sweet Georgia Yarns is going to be a pretty impressive haul, too.
Yeah. So, and I think she is possibly bringing in a new line that I had not heard of, but I'm not going to say it in case she's working on trying to get that in even this week. So, if you are within, I'd say, even a 3-hour drive, it'll probably be worth it. I will be there all day. I know there's not officially open knitting, but there's a little couch up front, and I kind of station myself there just to kind of talk about our product and help answer any questions. And as well, Kelly's usually checking people out all day, so I know the store now fairly well that I can kind of help and be on hand to help with people to find things. So I think it's going to be an awesome day. This is version 2.0. She did it for the first time last year, and there is no entry fee, none of that. Just awesome yarn. I mean, of course, all of her yarns will be available for purchase, but there will be an overload of hand-dyed yarn at this event. So that is in Bloomington, Illinois. It is in the Towanda Shopping Plaza, I believe it's called, right behind Arby's. So if you need to get lunch,
And really, this is a great event, especially because yesterday was Shop Small Business. This is, if you are in that spirit of giving gifts of shopping small, this is honestly one of the best deals of the year to kind of get all of that done at one time. And it's going to be awesome. Last year was awesome. There was quite a bit of enabling. And this year looks to be really good. So.
And it's not just yarn either. I mean, that's the focus for this, but I know she's also stocked up on a crap ton of amazing buttons.
Yep.
Shawl pins. I'm sure if she doesn't sell out, you can pick up those Knitter's Pride Melodies of Life needle sets. She's got the Addie Clicks. She's got tons of needles and crochet hooks, as well as a whole back room of sail yarn. Just amazingness all around. So.
And lots of notions, and also a lot of project bags too, both that are handmade, and I think she's got a few art pop bags and some of the Knitter's Pride project bags as well. There's a lot of awesomeness going on because she's so crushingly awesome.
Hashtag. Anyway, inside joke. So we're going to leave you with that. Hopefully, I know Callie will be coming in the late afternoon on Saturday. I will be there all day. If you'd like to come do a Dramatic Knits meetup, say Callie's hoping to get there around 2. Yep. So if you can make it in the afternoon, if not, come say hi. And definitely, if you watch the show, please say so. Let us know. And we look forward to meeting you if you're coming from, our Dramatic Knits community. So we will see you, though, in 2 weeks when we will be firmly planted in December, which is crazy because then it will be, Christmas and the holidays the next time we record after that. Yeah. Anyway, if you are not already doing so, you can definitely find us on our website, which is dramaticknits.com. You can follow the show on iTunes as well as YouTube. We have a Ravelry group for Dramatic Knits video podcast group, as well as Leading Men Fiber Arts. And there is a Facebook group for Leading Men Fiber Arts as well. We'd love if you follow us there, as well as on Instagram. Those are the best 2 places to follow us. And by the way, I just do want to thank everybody who participated in our Thanksgiving progressive sale. Once again, this is the 3rd year Leading Men Fiber Arts has hosted that. And once again, we felt the love. So thank you so much if you made an order from us during that time. So anyway, we're going to leave you now because it's almost an hour and a half, but we had a lot of content and a lot of amazing things. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show this week. And until we see you in 2 weeks,
we hope you
knit something dramatic.